Hey everyone, very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all are joining us globally. I am Parthoru, Events and Program Manager for Microsoft Reactor India, and yes, I welcome you all to yet another episode of Copilot Chronicles. But yes, before we start our today's event, let's go through our code of conduct. We are here to learn together, participate together. So please be respectful of other people's views, understanding their differences, be kind and considerate in a way we all engage. Yes, we do encourage you all to participate and please drop all your questions in the comment section and we'll pick it up from there. Now, I would like to bring our speaker for today's Chronicles, Pratap Reddy. Pratap Reddy is also a Microsoft MVP. Hey, hi Pratap, how are you? I think you are on mute. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm doing good, but so what about you?
All well, all great. Perfect time
Mhm.
for Copilot Chronicles. And also, I'm up
Mhm.
already with my coffee. What about you?
Yeah,
So, where are you
I'm
joining from, Pratap?
so actually I'm joining from India. I mean in Chennai. So
Oh, wow,
usually,
great.
so I work in Chennai. Yeah, usually I work in Chennai. So sometimes whenever we have the sessions like Microsoft meetups, and also I would like to travel from around the India, all over the India as well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great. All well, all good. The floor is all yours, and let's get started.
Okay, so let me share my screen. So
Yes,
yeah, is it fine? I mean,
yes, yes, yes. We can see your screen.
okay,
Please go ahead.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to the another episode of the Copilot Chronicles. And here I'm Pratap Reddy. So today I would like to demonstrate something about building copilots with custom copilots with Azure AI Studio. So it is a very very interesting session. Today we are discussing something about how can we create the custom copilots in that too in Azure AI Studio. I mean, so most of the people are aware of that, so we can create the copilots with the Copilot Studio, and there is no chance of creating this copilots with the help of this Azure AI Studio. But after we are having the one of the great feature, that is Azure AI Studio, so we have to create our custom copilots and custom chatbots with the help of this Azure AI Studio. So today we can discuss something about this building the custom copilots, and how can we uh, I would like to demonstrate everything from end to end perspective. So hope you can enjoy this session. Okay. Now, so moving forward, and so I would like to introduce myself. So I'm Pratap Reddy. So I'm an associate consultant. I'm working as a developer at Evident. So usually I'm an author. I usually write blogs, and I would like to write articles. I would like to books as well, and so I'm do some bloggings as well, and I will do some. I'm a global speaker, so usually we can I can speak about the India in the in person as well, and the virtually for the throughout the world. So I would like to probably give a lot of sessions to the all the communities of this Microsoft. A lot of the things I can do. So I hold the 8x Jew certified, and so in the month of January this year, so I got Microsoft recognized me as a Microsoft most valuable professional. If you want to connect with me, that is anything related to the Azure AI services and machine learning, feel free to connect with me. This is my QR code, and feel free to scan me. And I would like to give my your LinkedIn URL at the end of the session. So feel free to connect with me. So probably we can discuss something about this Azure AI stuff and all these things. Okay. Now moving forward, so today's agenda for the building the building custom copilot. So we can let's discuss something about what is artificial intelligence. So what is an Azure AI Studio, and what is RAG? So what are the key features of AI Studio? And we can do something about the demonstration, some about the how can we build and how can we create one custom copilot in Azure AI Studio as well. And later at the end of the session, So we'd like to discuss something. Is there any Q&As? And so we can moreover we can discuss something about this one. Okay, let's get started. So those who are watching this live, so I'm requesting everyone, please let me know. And so what is your understanding of and what is an A? Anyway, please feel free to text me in the comment section, so that would be better for us to understand what is your capability of understanding this artificial intelligence and all. Okay, now I would like to tell you, so artificial intelligence is the science of making machines think and act like a human. So we are very, so we have a lot of, I mean, like I'm saying that the artificial is the science of making missions. So most of the people thinking that the missions are so we have a lot of missions and a lot of missions. So how it really think and all. So we need to do something about we have to make these missions think and act like a human. So for example, I'm Pratap Reddy. I would like to talk something about artificial intelligence and building the custom copilot in Azure AI Studio. So I'm talking, so this is my human intelligence. So the artificial intelligence is how the human intelligence works. So same way we are creating the artificial intelligence. So for the any missions or any missions like computers, tablets, mobile phones, and humanoid robots, and whatever the things. So we need to make them and think like a humans. So this is the my abbreviation from my end. So like what is an artificial intelligence and all we can say. Okay. Now, so we learned something about what is an artificial intelligence, right? So this artificial intelligence that can really do what in the real time, what really it can do, like it is able to see, yes, of course. So we are using the mobile phones, right? So we have the facial recognition, we have the CC cameras, and we have the spatial analysis. So in the corona time we have see, so most of the people, most of the companies, most of the organizations, so they have some of the square boxes. So you need to maintain 3 feet. And if you are willing to, I mean, for example, let's say the person is wearing the mask or not, it can identify. So this AI can really able to see this person. If the person is able, I mean, wear any mask means they'll allow this particular artificial intelligence cameras to allow this person inside the on premises. If the person is not wearing the mask, and they'll didn't allow, they'll warn that person, please wear the mask, and like that it will respond. And so we have the one more feature of this artificial intelligence, capability of this artificial intelligence is able to hear. So for example, let's say, so me and my wife so discussing something about the Nike shoes we want to buy in the next week. So that we have discussed something on yesterday. This whatever the artificial intelligence integrated in the mobile phones or laptops or tablets, so it is able to recognize your voice, and it is able to advertise you in the YouTube ads and website ads, and we are able to see the lot of things in the advertisement mode. It is like attraction. So where the AI can really help us to see you, and it really can really hear what all you can. Uh, I mean, you are discussing something, your friends and colleagues and whatever it may be. So it is able to advertise you in like such type of thing, advertisement on that. Now, so this AI can really able to speak. So for example, so we have the GPT-4 models and the GPT model, chat GPT model. So we are able to speak about, we have GPT-4 mini model. So for example, let's say, so I would like to ask something. So can I have, so we have assistants as well. So I would like to ask something, but can you please let me know what is the distance between the, Kempegowda International Airport to the Devanalli. So I mean, so there's some little bit distance. So it will like to give you like it is it's really like 4 to 5 kilometers or to something. What are the distance between this Kempegowda to the Devanalli? So it will try to give you the proper response in a speech mode. So like that is AI can able to give you the responses accordingly. Now, and this AI can able to remember. For example, let's say, so me and my wife is discussing something about this Nike shooter. So we just search it on the. I used to give some prompts to these AI models like ChatGPT, LLM, ChatGPT, or the Bing models, or Gemini models, or else Azure OpenAI models. So we are discussing later, so previously and 15 days back or something. So, but we didn't remember anything. So whenever, like for example, let's say I can able to ask this chat GPT model. So what we really are discussing something about on this particular day. For example, let's say 15th October. Sorry. 15th October or 15th September, 15th August. So we'd like to ask you that such type of questions it is able to remember, and it will try to give you the responses again. So these are the some capabilities of this artificial intelligence. It is able to see and hear and speak and remember. So there's a one more thing that we can say, like it is able to act, so that act, and also that is all comes under this see, hear, and speak and remember. These are the main capabilities of this artificial intelligence. So based on this these capabilities, we are able to create some custom copilots or custom chatbots or custom assistants, and we are able to create this type of things. Now, coming back to what is an Azure AI Studio. So we can simply say that Azure AI Studio is like a workshop where you can build and use the tools like easily. So for example, we have a lot of features in the Azure AI Studio. So where we need to build and we need to test and we need to deploy in one single environment. So, and also it helps you to create a smart assistants, like a smarter assistants. So we have the, so we can say it as it is a copilots, and so we have a lot of assistants, so where we need to create the assistant playground as well. And if you want to create a Q&A for your whatever the document you have, and if you want to create the copilot for your enterprise level, if you want to create your friendly chatbots or friendly copilots, you can able to create with the help of this Azure AI Studio. That can help you with the tasks such as writing and data analysis and more features we have. And you know one thing, and this platform provides everything you need to develop. Yes, of course, we need to develop with the help of this Azure AI Studio, and we need to test by using this Azure AI Studio, and also deploy these AI models and AI tools, and making the processes very, very simple. And so, moreover, I think most of the people know about this machine learning studio. So, where we need to test, build, and everything. So, what are the features in the machine learning studio and Open AI Studio, and everything that will be combined there, integrated one shows to separate studio, all the AI modules, and we have the 1700 and model catalogs are there. So we need to use these catalogs. So for example, from the Hugging Face model, the NVIDIA models, and Microsoft models, and Lambda models, and lot of model catalogs. So we need to create and we need to use this such type of model catalogs, and we have to integrate this type of things into what are the requirement, what are the website you have. You need to integrate these type of things by using this Azure AI Studio. Okay, now I'm requesting everyone. So what do you know about this? What is Copilot? Right. So Copilot, right? So I'm using the Teams Copilot, Outlook Copilot, and PowerPoint Copilot, and we have a lot of Copilots that daily I'm using every day. So we only because also we are partnering with the Microsoft, so we are able to use this Copilots and everywhere. So we can simply say that the Copilots are everywhere. So before knowing about this thing, so I would like to tell something. I would like to ask you guys. So what is Copilot? Uh, I mean, everyone say that Copilot is a smart assistant that helps you with the various tasks. Yes, of course. And for example, let's say so I'm in business requirement. I don't want to know about anything requirement. I don't want to know anything about this business. When I simply say as we have any documents about this one, I just simply give this sort of documents, and based also this really this Copilot really works accordingly, and read the documentation, and it understand the business requirement. It is able to create and develop the what all the business requirement. It is able to develop, and it will try to deploy that as per the requirements with the automated or as well as the manual requirements, some type of thing. So in this case, this Copilot will help us to understand, and it is like our it is like our buddy, and like it will help us on edge anytime. Okay, so it is, and also it uses advanced AI technology to understand what you need to provide the useful suggestions and complete the task. Yes, of course, we need to provide some suggestions, and we need to provide if we need to take any suggestions from the Copilot as well. It is able to provide, and also these all are the things that we can able to get the suggestions, and we need to give the suggestions for this Copilot as well. So if you have any business requirement, if you, feel free to use this Copilots, and by using them. So now we are able to create this one Copilot with the help of this custom. I mean, by using this, this Azure AI Studio. Okay. Now we know something about this Copilot, right? Now we have to know something about the custom Copilot. Okay. And now let me ask you something about custom Copilot. So custom Copilot is an assistant, is an AI assistant. So we can simply say that is an AI assistant, and that you can create and customize a new specific domain. For example, let's say so I'm working as associate consultant or developer at every day. So my client's requirement is so we need to create one. There is a one business requirement. We need to create one internal chatbot, internal copilot. So where we used to send emails and send a confirmation mails through the help of this any copilot. So we can, instead of spending a lot of time, so we need to just take a few clicks. So it will try to create, it will try to send a mail to all the employees, so those who are working inside of my organization or in the client's organization. It is, so these are the some basic requirements. So if you are willing to, we have a lot of business requirements to create the custom copilots. So based on the specific needs, we need to create this custom copilots. Okay. Now, so it uses organizes data and workflows and helps to task like answering questions and managing orders and providing the insights. Yes, of course. So it definitely it is try to use the organization data, of course. So when there is a, whether it was in the like you are stored in the organization data in the SQL database or Cosmos DB or whatever it may be. So we are trying to create add this data source to this custom component. We try to give you the responses accordingly. Now come back to one more thing, that is one more key point about this. So you can build it using tools like Microsoft Copilot Studio, and also make it easy to develop and test and deploy this system. Also, yes, of course. So whenever we need to come back to the custom copilot, there is a one best choice is, so we need to create the custom copilot with the help of this copilot studio. So I don't know exactly how many people are aware of this custom copilot, and I would like to, I mean, like Copilot Studio. This Copilot Studio is previously be known as Power Virtual Agent. So now we can say it as a Copilot Studio. So if you want to, feel free to create the custom Copilots with the help of this one. Just directly you can go and create a custom Copilot with the help of this Copilot Studio as well. Okay. Now, so we can discuss something about in the today's session as well. What is RAG? So we can, so the acronym word of this RAG is a Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So right. I think so. Those who are watching this live, so how many people are I mean aware of these LLM models like ChatGPT models, Bing, Copilot, and Gemini models, or Azure AI models? Whatever. So most of the people are using the LLM. So now our world is full of LLM models only, right? So I'm requesting everyone, like how many people what are the LLMs we are using that is trained with some set of data. Okay. So, for example, the Gemini, for example, the ChatGPT, or whatever the model you are using, whatever the LLM model you are using, that is of some, that is trained with some set of data. So, but they are not trained. For example, let's say if you can ask anything related to the your personal data. For example, let's say I just want to go for the ChatGPT model. I can ask something about. So, can you please tell me about my phone number? Means it is doesn't give, because this particular LLM model does not have your personal data. Okay, and the time what we need to do. So it is not only related to the personal data. So for example, so coming to the enterprise level, they don't have any information, right, about your enterprise level. And so what we, on the time what we need to try to add the external data sources. So these external data sources, we need to add these external data sources and train this data, and it will give you the responses occur. So this full entire thing is end-to-end process is called, we need to say it, so Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So I would like to tell you very simply. So we are using the LLM models. They don't have any personal information about you or your company enterprise data. So on this case, what we need to do, so they trained with some trained set of data only. So what we need to on that time, so what we need, so we need to add our enterprise data, or we need to add our personal data. So it will give you, we need to add the data, and we need to train this data, and it will give you the responses accordingly. So this entire process is, we need to say it as RAG. Okay, that is, we can say retrieval augment generation. And so that is we explained in this one. This technique addresses some challenges of LLM, such as presenting outdated or inaccurate information. Of course, so whenever we need to ask any such type of information, for example, let's say, so we can ask some questions like to these LLM models for this ChatGPT model. So when our the great legend, this Ratan Tata, is passed away, we just ask this question to this LLM model. So this LLM model, so they don't have the live information, current affairs information. On that time, it will give you the, I don't know, it doesn't give you the proper response. So you can also try to check this same question with the ChatGPT 3.0 model, because it is trained with some set of data only. So that's why it doesn't give you the response. So because the data is recently is passed away, so rest in peace, late legend. So we need to ask some type of questions which doesn't give you the responses. And you can also ask the same questions like who will be the become, or who's becoming the prime minister in the 2029 election. So it doesn't give you the responses. So because they don't have any future or predicted data. So the under time what we need to do. So I mean that future doesn't give you the information, but whatever the trained data set, it doesn't give you. It will give you the information based on the whatever the data sources with this particular LLM model. So that's why we need to add this RAG model to this particular thing. Okay. Now, so we have this learn module. So if you are willing to learn something about this custom copilots and build a custom copilots, if you want to learn, so you just try to scan this. I mean, you just try to take the one screenshot or whatever it may be. Just take this one, and you have to learn about this. You just complete this learn modules of this Microsoft, and so it will help you to understand better about this how to create the custom copilot and all. Okay. Now, so we have the, so at the end of this presentation, I would like to show you something about what are the key features of this Azure AI Studio. So we have the some key features of this AI Studio. So like we have pre-trained models. Yes, of course we have with the 70, a lot of pre-trained models so it is approximately, so there are some I mean like model catalog models and value models and a lot of models that is already here. So only thing is we need to utilize and we need to deploy these models as per your requirements. And we have the drag and drop functionality. Yes, of course we have the drag and drop functionality by using this Azure AI Studio. And we have the integrated development environment. Of course we have there is a one integrated development that is already there, so where we need to uh, build and test and everything that will be done in the same environment. So feel free to use this whatever the requirement and whatever the things, and that is really help you to understand about this Azure AI Studio. And coming to the last, that is one of the key feature, that is a deployment and the management. So it is like a deployment is STLC and everything that we can comes under this Azure AI Studio environment. And also just to feel free to learn something about this key features. And also this part is already sharing these learn modules in the comment section. Feel free to go and you can I mean, learn something about this Azure AI Studio, how to create a custom Copilot and all. So we have these different types of advantages of this Azure AI Studio. So that coming to this, so they have some reduced development time. So this is one of the advantage, and simplified AI database. Of course, we have the simplified data. I mean AI development. So where we need to don't go for any coding purpose and all. Directly we can integrate whatever the requirement you have, directly you can integrate these things. And so, and one more thing is scalability and flexibility, of course, and also cost effective. So compared to the different cloud providers, it is very cost effective. And focus on innovation. Yes, of course this AI Studio is a focus on the innovation, where you use it to create and deploy for your personal website and personal startups, and you need to create this by using this AI Studio. So we are ready to give you the focusing on this innovation on them. And now, so these are the steps of where we need to how can we create this custom copilot, like how can we use this Azure AI Studio, so where first we initially we need to go for the create one Azure account. And the second thing is explore, so what is the interface of this Azure AI Studio. Then you can go for this, what is your I mean, selected a pre-trained model. For example, let's say you can go for the GPT-4o mini model. You can go for the anything related to the GPT-4o mini, GPT-4 3 by turbo, and GPT-4, and like that. There are different types of pre-trained models, Hugging Force model, NVIDIA models, Lambda models. So whatever the pre-trained model you want, you can go and you can utilize that one. And the fourth one is experiment with the drag and drop focus. You can also go and utilize with the prompt force. And so if you want to add any LLMs, and also you can go and experiment with whatever the things that you want to demonstrate with the help of this Azure AI Studio. And utilize the code first approach. So there's one more thing that we can go demonstrate with Azure AI Studio, and connect to the external data sources. So this thing we can say it as it is an RAG model. So we can connect the external store data sources as well, and collaborate with your team. So we can also collaborate. So whenever we need to create one project, we need to collaborate with this things as well. And finally, and one more thing is called monitor and manage deployment model. So So these are the things that we are able to do something about this Azure AI Studio. So I would like to show you how can we create and all. And the final thing is the connect the external data sources. So this external data sources is, we can say it as a RAG. So where we need to connect blob storages and data lake storages from the like data lake. So we can simply say the Azure data lake storage also there, and also we have the one more feature called Fabric as well. So by using this Fabric also we need to add some more data lake storages as well, and the local file system. So we have any files like different types of extension files like Excel files, PDF files, PPT files, so anything that is related to this external data sources, and feel free to add your data sources to this system, and it will help you to understand better about this. It will give you the proper responses. So whenever you need to ask something about these things, you need to train them, and it will try to give you the responses accordingly. And database management systems like SQL servers. Of course, we need to add this type of things, and by using this external data source link, and we have the Cosmos DB option, and also they have a search and a lot of things. I would like to show you what are the connected sources that we are able ready to give you the proper responses. We are getting the proper responses with the help of this Copilot and all. Okay, so now it's demo time. So I would like to show you the demo. Okay, let me share my screen. Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible to you guys. So this is Azure portal.azure.com is the official website. So where we need to demonstrate something about all the 200 plus services there in Azure. Okay. Now coming back here. mm, Okay, so this is whenever we need to go for an Azure AI Studio, you can go ahead, or else directly you can go for OpenAI also, where you could demonstrate previously demonstrate something about any pretend model. You can go ahead and you can utilize this one, or else you can try to go directly. You can go and create one Azure AI Studio as well. Okay, and let me create one service here. So I'm already created the different services in Azure AI Studio. So, but I would like to show you the how can we create one AI Studio, how can we create one AI Hub bundle. Okay, let me try this way. Okay, try to create one new service. Okay, so here it will ask you the several options like which type of subscription you are using, whether you are pay as you go or Visual Studio subscription or free trial version. So you can go ahead and you can. So I just tap onto the pay as you go. And resource group, I just select as the A Pratap, and region as central US, or else you can select any region if you want. For example, I just make it as East US as default, and now I can give the name as like React Day 2024. I'm giving this name, and it will try to get the friendly name as well. Okay, based on this one, and also project resource group. So what you want to. So if you, I'm already taking this IA Studio as resource group. If you want to take, and also we need to change the project resource group. Also, you can also change the accordingly. If you want to, if you are willing to change as well. Now, so I just given this one. Now, and Azure AI service based model. So here, if you want to try to uh, base model, if you try to select this any type of, for example, Azure AI services or OpenAI services, so we have these services. So I just go for this Pratap React 140. This is a one new services I'm creating. If you want to connect these AI services, you can try to. If you want, also if you want to create a new, also you can try tap on to create, and you can create here. Okay, I just want to discard this one, and then just tap onto the storage. Here it will try to take some storage account name and the key vault name and application insight and container registry. You just you make it as default and tap onto the networking. So here in the networking is whether you need this particular A hub in the public or private with appropriate outbound, or like that you need to make it as the network as well. So I just make it as a defaultly public, and so then I just make it as an encryption. If you want to encrypt the data with customer manager data, and you just to make, if you want, it means you just check out that one, or else you need to make it as a defaultly. And next I can go for the identity. So just make it as a default for the tags as well. So once, so if you have the project requirements, if you can also add your name and values of this particular tags for the requirements of this Azure AI Hub as well. And finally, so you can also tap on to review plus create as well. Okay, now I'm going to tap onto the review plus create option. So once the validation is passed, so just tap onto create option. Okay. So it will take some time. So probably by 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can discuss. Okay. Deployment is in progress. So give me a few minutes. So give me a moment. So I think it will deployment is not completed. Okay. So I created this one. So give me a moment. So I think I lost my internet connection. So that's why it is not completed. Yeah. So now the deployment is completed. So which one is we are created? So Reactor Day 2024, right? So now we can go ahead with this one. So just tap onto the Reactor Day 2024, and so once it is done, so just tap onto there's an option called the Launch AI Studio. Okay. Now, so once you tap onto the Launch AI Studio, is redirect to the Azure AI Studio. Okay. Here we are trying to create one project. So once you create the project, so then we can try to demonstrate something about so how can we create. I'll show you. Okay. So now try to create one project here. So I would like to give one name. So Chanchapagar Pratap Reddy 1975. So I just make it as default and tap onto the create project. Okay. So one thing, one bad luck for this today is a deployment is that so this whenever we need to tap on this launch, deploying this particular project, a particular copilot. So I'm unable to deploy this one now only because of this internal. Sometimes this Azure AI Studio is in preview, so that's why I'm unable to deploy into so many web pages and all. Okay, I would like to show you on that. Okay, and give me a few minutes. Here in the project overview, and so I created this project. Okay, so if you want to learn something about build a custom deploy a question answering Copilot with a prompt flow in the Azure AI Studio, so there is a one more thing that we can also do something about answer the Copilot with the prompt flow as well. So we have the prompt flow option is there, so where we need to demonstrate something about this Copilot as well. Okay, so now first we need to go for this chart, and here in the chart, so we need to deploy one model. So we need to create one model. Okay, now I would like to try to create one GPT-4o model. So I need to deploy that model first. Let me try with the GPT-4o mini, GPT-4o, that is a Omni model. So just tap on to confirm. And once you tap onto the confirm, it will try to detect the deployment name. And if you want to customize these deployment details like model version, get started, or whatever the things, if you want to tap onto the customize, it will try to give you the responses. So once you're done, just tap onto connect and deploy. Okay, so once you tap onto the connection and the deployment name, and it will take few seconds, uh, and then it will complete the deployment. So just tap onto the connect and deploy. Okay, so now the deployment is completed. Okay, now we are ready to use this GPT-4o model. Okay, so now the deployment of this particular model, we are integrated this model into the one chart playground. Now the business requirement is, so we need to add your personal data, or you need to add your enterprise data. So you need to add the rack models to your model. So once you've done add your model, your data to this model, so then we are ready to deploy this. We are ready to launch this model. Okay, now for example, let's say I would like to add one data. Okay, now let me show this one. So you are an AI assistant that people helps the information about. For example, this is the basic information. This is it will act like an assistant. Okay, now I would like to what we can say. You are an AI assistant that helps the people find the information about like Mahabharata. Mahabharata only. Okay. Uh, so I would like to give this prompt and just save it. Okay. So once you save this message, and I would like to add the command as a hi. See, so whenever I need to send a hi message, it will try to give you the response. Hello, how can I assist you with the information about the Mahabharata today? For example, let's say I would like to ask about tell me about Azure AI services. Okay, I just given this prompt. Okay, let me think. So for example, so whenever I need to give this prompt, so it doesn't give you the response. For example, let's say I specialize in providing information about the Mahabharata. However, if you need the Azure AI services, I recommend to Microsoft Shield documentation resources. So it will give. So for example, let's say I just make this assistant, like I give some instruction to the assistant. You need to give the responses about Mahabharata only. So it is giving the responses only about the Mahabharata only. So instead of Mahabharata, it doesn't give you the other than that responses. For example, I would like to ask about tell me about Lord Krishna role in Mahabharata. Okay, I'm giving this one. See, I given this prompt. I tell me about the Lord Krishna role in Mahabharata. It will give you the responses. So friend and guide and a diplomat and a charioteer and mentor, strategist and supporter of Dharma and the divine incarnate and a Leela. And so these all are the things it will give you the responses. See, whenever I need to ask the same question, instead of Mahabharata, I will ask several questions, doesn't give you the response, right? In this case, so this is the where this assistant give you the responses accordingly. Okay, now we need to try to add our own data. Okay, our own data or enterprise data, whatever the data we have, and we need to add. So there's an option called add the new data source. Okay, here, and it will give you the responses. Like we need to select the data sources. So the data sources from the different places, and we need to connect the data sources with Azure AI Search and the data in Azure AI Studio. If there is any data is already existed in Azure AI Studio, if you can connect, and also blob storage and storage URL. So probably I would like to go for this upload files. Okay, so I have the files here, and I would like to upload these files. Okay, so now I'm going to upload one PDF file about Azure OpenAI Studio. Okay, now I'm going to I just uploaded this file. So once it is done, and you just tap onto the next option. So after this one, we're going to give you some index settings. So index settings, so we need to create one Azure AI search. So I'm already created one Azure AI search, and so here we need to select the okay. So if you want to, sorry, I forgot to add the data sources here. Data source as upload files, upload files, and here Azure OpenAI Studio document. So once it is done, just tap on next option, and so I don't have any Azure AI search, so I just try to create one Azure AI search resource. Okay. And let me give me a few minutes. So once we create this Azure AI search, then we need to deploy this. Okay. So in the Azure, so while creating Azure AI search service, so it will ask you some subscription detail, pay as you go, resource group as which type of resource group you are using, and I need to give the reactor AI date 53, and you can select the location and pricing there. Once you done, tap onto the scale. So what is the scale of for estimated cost per month and all, and it will try to give. So just look at this one. So and networking and tags and review plus create. So once it is done, so once the validation is completed, just tap on to create option. So validation is in progress. So once it is done, so just tap on validation is completed. So just tap on to create option. Okay. Now what we need to do is, so once the deployment is completed, so we try to give me a few seconds. Yeah. So now deployment is completed. So coming back to the chat playground here, so we need to select this service. Okay. Again, we need to come back because we need to start from the beginning because it doesn't there's no option called refresh here and upload files. Okay. And Azure OpenAI Studio, and so once it is uploaded, just tap onto the next option, and so here we need to select the Azure search. Okay. Okay. So allow me a few minutes, please. Because so whenever we need to create one deployment, so we need to refresh this page. So that is the one thing. And I'm going to add this. Or else, if you want to, if you don't want to, you don't have any files and all, directly you can upload the any URL and all. It will try to give you the responses accordingly. And so give me 1 moment. I need to add the keys. Yeah, so here what we need to do is, so we need to add the keys, and as well as, so we need to select what you want to demonstrate, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to add this connection. So once you're done, if you want to Azure AI search, if you want to add, and once you're done, you just tap onto the next option. So it will go for the Azure. Is there anything existed Azure OpenAI resource means, so you can use that existing Azure OpenAI resource for the search and all. Okay, once you're done, just tap onto the next option. We can finally, it will come for the review and finish. Okay, so once it is reviewed and finished, just tap onto the creator. So it is directly, we can add our whatever the data files we are added, it directly this comes to the your LLM model. Okay, so it will take a few seconds. Yeah, so it is adding the data to this LLM model. Yeah, so data is added. So now what can we do is, so we are an AI system that you again I need to ask one thing. So like here, you are an AI assistant that helps people find information about uh, information and give the information from the document only. So this prompt I given for this assistant model. So once you're done, just tap onto the save option. Okay, so just tap onto the continue. So once you're done, it, so we are ready to use this model. Okay, give me one moment. I think your assistant just assistant setup to improve assistant responses. Okay, so I just go for the GPT-4 Go model. So whenever we need to, add your own data and all, I add your enterprise data just to be cautious whenever you need to add the data, because so sometimes the data is that you provided to this model, it doesn't accept because it doesn't provide the responses accordingly. So that is the one drawback, and so just make sure whenever we need to deploy this type of models and all. Okay, I'm going to deploy this one. Okay, I think this it is disabled. I don't know exactly. So what it really happens, and so whenever we need to add your data, and no, so whenever we need to set up add your data and set up this instruction and context to this model, and it will try to give you the responses accordingly. Okay, now so this is one of the thing, and I think this thing is done as I think so. We need to set up something for this one and all. So if you want to add your own data means. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. It is in the progress, so that's why it is in. It doesn't give you the responses. So it was in still allocating the compute resources. It is taking some time to complete. So step one is completed, and step two it was in the that mode. I mean, so once we complete this step three steps model, so then we are ready to use this particular thing. Okay, and it will take some time, and so once it is done, so we need to deploy this so like we need to deploy this particular chatbot in new Copilot in Copilot Studio, or we need to create in the new Teams app zip file, or else we need to create this one of the web app like that. So we need to we just make a deployment for the web app, like whenever we have any website and all, you just deploy this one, and you have any Teams app means, and you need to deploy this. You need just upload the .zip file, and also you need to try to deploy this Copilot in the Copilot Studio. So then we can directly can connect the channels like Teams, Power Apps, and personal websites, and all the Microsoft products. Like that, you can deploy this one. So once you're done, so just tap onto the launch. So this unable to connect because so what are the website I have, so it is under maintenance, so it is not working properly. So that's why there's a problem to connect and launch this studio. Okay, so yeah, and also it is one more thing is that this will take some time to come and add your data to this particular model. So once the network connection and everything is fine, you are ready to add your data. And once you add your data, you need to ask the several questions to this GPT-4 model means. And this LLM models means, so we can it will try to give you the responses. And also you can set up this system message. For example, you are an AI assistant, if people find information about your document only, so don't give the information about the other than this document. It will try to give you the responses related to this document. It doesn't give you the responses outside of this document. So like that, it will give you the responses accordingly. So this is how we can we need to add our RAG models like RAG data, or else we need to try to add any system messages. It will give you the responses accordingly. So once it is done, we need to try. So we have the adding your data in Azure AI Search and AI Studio existing data and SQL, and we have the lot of data sources where we need to deploy add your data to this model. Then it is easy to deploy this particular data to our any existing website or any existing Copilot Studio interface. And so like that, we can deploy this custom Copilots, and you need to create the custom Copilot with the help of this Azure AI Studio. And so these are, so you can also evaluate this for anything like so manually evaluate. So once you can add this data, it will try to, it is enable automated evaluation and manual evaluation. So we have the view code option is also there. So you can also use this particular sample code in the Visual Studio Code or any developer SDKs we have. You can use this type of thing. So where we need to replace this API key and endpoint as well. So once it is done, and if you can also use this code in different languages, so Java, or so there are different types of things. So we'll try to use these sample codes and all. And if you want to import anything packages to this chat playground, also you can import here and also export this one in JSON file format or a prompt file as well. So these are all the things where we need to demonstrate something about this Azure AI Studio and where we need to deploy everything. Okay, so we need to create the custom Copilot with the help of this RAG data and all. So this is how we can demonstrate from the end-to-end process of this building the custom Copilot and all. Okay, so sorry, I think it is taking them lot of time. So to ingest, upload this status and all. So once it is done, so we are ready to use this RAG data to this particular model. So it will try. I will try to show you the how it will respond the responses according to our document. So that's all from my end. So over to you, Parth. So if we have any questions, so feel free to discuss. So this rest of this 7 minutes. Over to you, Parth. So if you have any questions.
Hey there, folks. Final call to ask the questions.
Hmm?
So we had one question like, what is the difference between Copilot Studio and
Hmm.
Azure AI Studio? I answered it on the same chat.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is something like as a Copilot Studio. So it is like previously we can say it as a Power Virtual Agent. So where we need to connect to some the different types of channels directly. So I mean, we in the Azure AI Studio we have the limited channels. Like where we need to connect directly. So we have this view code option, so we can integrate into any website and the Copilot Studio. So here also, whenever we need to deploy and test and try in one model in the chat playground, so it is also redirect to the Copilot Studio only. So where we need to connect all the channels and all. So there's some little bit changes. It is the
Yeah,
Copilot Studio is
basically,
different and Azure AI Studio is different. It's
yeah,
completely
basically like
yeah.
Azure AI Studio would be like it is aimed for developers and orgs creating custom AI
Mm,
solutions, and Copilot could be like designed for
yeah,
end users to enhance productivity in everyday office tasks. We can say it like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yes, we can say it like this. Mhm.
Yes, so
So
I
thanks
don't
for
see
the, I mean, that
any
update
other
you have
questions
been.
coming up.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Pratap Reddy. Thank you so much
Hmm.
for doing this, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope
Yeah,
you all
yeah.
have a great
Anytime.
evening.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, Pratap.
Okay. Thank you, Prath. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you soon.